Hey, SongTown, here with Clay Mills. I'm glad to be here today. We're going to talk about the 5 worst ways to start a song. But we're not just going to tell you the worst ways. We're going to talk about ways to not do that, to fix that problem. So, Clay, you want to kick us off?
I do. So, number 1 would be starting with no direction or intention. And I see that a lot. I used to be guilty of this, where just kind of grab a guitar and I'd noodle around for half an hour, see if anything happened. And if it did, great. If not, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, man, all the time I wasted before I learned that, people talk about, well, I can only write when I get inspired and I don't want to force it. So I just kind of noodle around until inspiration hits. Well, I found when I became a professional songwriter that in order to write songs consistently, good songs, that you need direction. So when I show up to write, I usually have some kind of direction, whether it's a title idea or if it's musical, I'm going, really like to write something today that maybe has that tom groove on that Coldplay song that I love so much, that it has this kind of dark vibe, or maybe sticking with Coldplay, maybe it's like, well, I'm never going to resolve to the one chord. Because that's something I love about their music. They don't resolve to the one chord. So going in with intention, I think that breeds inspiration. If you go in with a starting point, it's amazing how inspiration shows up and you get excited about something.
Yeah. And, I can't count the times you and I both have been mentoring with people and we are going, what's this song about? I'm not really sure. And then they get to the hook and from there on, it makes sense.
Right.
And we go, okay, did you know what the title was when you started this? And they'll sheepishly say, no. But you can tell a lot of times if a song had intention and direction from the start, or if they kind of wandered around until they found something and then they pointed at that with everything else, So intention is actually my word of the year for myself. It's like, I want to do everything I do with intention. There's a reason I'm writing this song.
Mm-hmm.
There's a direction of where it's going to go. There's even intention about what I might do with it after I write it and all that kind of stuff. And I believe that shows up in your writing.
Yeah. And it's not just for songwriters. I mean, famous artists for decades have been doing this. When the Beatles, they heard Bob Dylan, so John Lennon writes a song called Norwegian Wood that he wanted to try to get that kind of vibe in their music. Or Bruno Mars today, he'll go, I'm really trying to get that 80s funk sound. And he's going for that with intention, wants his whole album to sound like that. And that's how great music is usually born. It's not born, well, Bruno Mars doesn't show up in the studio and just go, I think I'll just hit the keys for a while and see if something happens.
Right.
No, you've got to have that focus. It doesn't mean you can't change direction, because while you're intending to go to 80s funk, maybe you hit something else and it's like, oh, this is cool. I'll write this today and then I'll get back to my other thing.
Yeah. You might invent neo polka or something like that, The second one, I think, is having an overly long intro. And this came to light for me years ago when we pitched songs on cassettes back in the old days, kids.
Cassette? What is a cassette?
You can go to the Smithsonian and see one. But I pitched this song to an A&R person who was known to be kind of rough around the edges. And he listened to like 2/3 of my intro and he turned it off and threw the cassette across the deck. And he said, I've heard it all before and I don't have time for this. And it just helped me realize, when people are listening to my songs, they want me to get to it.
Yeah.
They want me to draw them in, but they don't want this, 30-second or 45-second intro.
15 seconds at the most.
Yeah. So they, just thinking about one of the worst ways to start your song can be to have this honking long intro that forces everybody to sit there waiting on, okay, what are we going to get to?
Yeah, and you're specifically talking about a demo. If you're putting out an album and your song has a longer intro and you have a fan base, well, you can get away with more.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get someone to record your song, Or even if you're trying to get a record deal yourself, putting on this, a minute, 30-second guitar solo at the beginning of your demo. And we hear this a lot, it's just not going to help your cause, because you're not going to hold even the listener's attention unless they're really into your music and they're a fan of yours. If they don't know you, whether you're at a club playing, whether you're trying to get your songs streamed, a long intro is not going to be your best friend.
No, and I actually saw a guy at a writer's night one time. He was playing this really long intro. It had to be a minute long. And somebody in the audience yells, "Come on!"
And he probably took about 2 minutes to tell what the song was going to be about and why he wrote it. And then he's got, another minute into playing the intro. Yeah. And we're not poking fun. I did this when I started. So it's just something that we had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. What's number 3?
I think number 3 is opening with a cliche. And this goes back kind of to what we were just talking about.
You've got me in the palm of your hand. What is it? Tell me more.
So just like a long intro, you're going to lose the audience. If you start the song out with cliche followed by another cliche, you're not going to keep the audience attention either. You want an interesting first line that's going to grab them and pull them into your song. So, starting out with a cliche, because a cliche is something they've heard a million times in their life. It's like they want to hear something interesting. They want to hear something that grabs them and pulls them into the song.
Yeah, Diamond Rio has a song called Two Pump Texaco, and it starts something like, she was pulling on a hair that got caught in her lipstick. He was wiping the oil off her dipstick.
I've never heard the song, but you've brought this line up in about 3 podcast episodes.
I love that song.
I think you should go for 4.
It's a great example of having something that makes me want to hear the song.
Yeah.
And when I hear something I've heard a million times before, I don't want to hear the rest. I go, okay, I got it.
And it doesn't have to be as quirky and cool as that either. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of some of my favorite, turn down the bed, turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. And it's like, whoa, when you hear that opening, it starts out just turn down the lights. Okay, turn down the bed, turn down these voices here in my head. It's like, oh, wow, now it's cool. Yeah. So that's how he eases you into it and does a little twist. But so much better than, just starting the song, turn down the lights, turn down the bed. I'm getting sleepy right now.
Right. Yeah.
Or
I'm counting sheep or something,
Yes.
Okay, number 4 is giving away the big idea too soon.
Yes.
It's almost, I like to think of my songs like a movie or a video. And you can't give away the ending at the beginning, and sometimes I'll see songs, 4 lines in, I've got the whole thing. There's nothing new they can say, so I think pacing yourself, and in my book, Song Building, I talk about blueprinting so that the idea behind blueprinting is that you're pacing yourself. You're going, here's how I'm going to set up my chorus the first time, here's my big idea in the chorus, here's how I'm going to get back to the chorus. Mm-hmm. And when you do that kind of thing, then you're not going to give away the big idea too soon.
Yeah, because if you give it all away in the beginning, they've got no reason to keep listening.
Yeah.
So, for instance, go back to turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down the voices inside my head. We don't know what that's about. So we got to keep listening. But if he had gone, turn down the lights, turn down the bed, you're not going to love me in the morning anyway. Like, okay, so we know what the song's about. They're going to bed and she's not into him. But instead, he saves that idea, the big idea for the chorus, which is, I can't make you love me if you want.
If you don't.
No, I'm right. You're wrong.
You've mentioned this 3 times in this podcast, and you got that wrong.
You are correct, and I'm totally wrong. So the big idea is, I can't make you love me if you don't.
Right.
Right. So this is why Marty and I like to do these podcasts, so we can disagree. But he's right. He's absolutely right. But you get the idea. It's that you can't, if you just give away the whole idea in that verse and you don't just give them a carrot to keep them listening, that's all I want. I want somebody to get me to the next line and then get me to the next line. They're just dangling a carrot, in front of you.
Right.
But if you just shoot it all in the first couple of lines, there's literally no reason to keep listening to the song. And we hear that mistake a lot when people send us songs to review.
Yeah. What's the opening opening two lines of your Darius song about the cloud of dust?
I left out in a cloud of taillights and dust.
Okay.
Swore I wasn't coming back, said I'd had enough.
So when I hear those two lines, I'm like, oh, I want to know what's going on.
Right. And you say, you could look at it and go, well, he just told us he's not coming back. But that's not the idea of the song. The idea is the song is, I left. The chorus is, but don't think I don't think about it. Don't think I don't have regret. So the chorus goes in another direction and you haven't given it away.
Right.
Yeah.
Great job on that one, by the way. What's number 5?
I'm lucky I can even remember my own lyrics.
I know.
And you're busting my chops because I said the word don't instead of want.
No, the other way around.
Oh, I said I told you I have no memory. That's why I had to start writing my own songs. It's because I was playing cover tunes when I was a kid, 14 years old. I started playing in bars. I couldn't remember the lyrics to any songs. So I just decided I'm going to have to write my own lyrics. Number 5, overriding the verse melody.
What do you mean by that?
It's kind of like the same idea that we have when don't give away too much of your lyric in the first verse.
Gotcha.
Save the big idea for the chorus. Well, so many great songs throughout history, if it's a verse-chorus song, have kind of a compressed vocal range in the verse, maybe 3 or 4 notes. And then when they get to the chorus, they open up and you really feel the emotion because now your vocal range, and what I mean by that is the notes from the bottom of the scale to the top of the scale. So I think a lot of times people make the mistake of they want to impress us so much that they start the song out really big in the verse. And then when they hit the chorus, they've got a great chorus, but you don't know it's great because they haven't set it up right.
Or you don't even know that you're at the chorus because
Yes.
melodically it hasn't really gone anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think of like Adele songs where she hits the chorus and she hits this high, long note and it gives you chill bumps. Well, look at her verse. It has like a 3-note range, on her song, Hello. She goes like 2 verses with really only singing 3 notes for 90% of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, man, when she hits that chorus and it opens up, it's chill bumps.
Yeah. I did something today in a song. We decided to do the opposite just for the contrast of that. So we made the chorus much more chill and stretched out and lower in the range. But the point is to have that contrast and to not give away the chorus in any way with what you're doing in the verse.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so many, even classic R&B songs where the chorus was real chill and maybe the pre-chorus right before the chorus hit this screaming high note and then it settles down into the chorus. But it's the chorus because of that contrast.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Those are 5 things to not do. We gave you some ideas of how to fix them if you have songs that have those.
Don't do.
I said to not do. Oh,
and I won't
do. Yeah.
Now you got it.
Yeah. All right. See you next time.
See you next time. Stick around while we fight some more. Hey, thanks for watching. If you appreciate the content, hit the subscribe button and help us grow. Shout out to Sweetwater Music. It's where Marty and I get all our musical gear. Great people. We'll see you guys around town. Right on.